Welcome back to the Travel Agency Near podcast. I'm your host, Rachel K with elevatewithrachelk.com, travel advisor helping travel advisors become the CEO of their business. Today's episode is day 45, and I'm going to go into more details about video lead magnets because I think it is a solid option, and there's various ways that you can do a video lead magnet. So one thing I will say, if you want to get into social media marketing, I highly suggest you study social media marketing from the perspective of, let's say you're just scrolling along somewhere and you see something that catches your eye, make make note of what the first sentence is or the first few words are that drew you in, whether it's written or video content. Make notes, sign up for lead magnets, see what their process is. It doesn't have to be someone in the travel industry because marketing is marketing and there are different tools. And if you think that what random company aligns with, you could tweak it possibly to align with your own ICA, then you can be inspired. So a book that you could look up and purchase and buy or get the audiobook, Steal Like an Artist. It's a lot about marketing like that. But today's episode is going to talk about video as a lead magnet, and not just like short form video you post as reels or shorts or TikToks, but like an actual lead magnet that is video content. I'm a huge fan of video content over written. I do like writing. However, I do like just turning on the camera and being like, blah, I'm just going to say everything. Like I barely ever have any notes and I just blurb out things to people. I like it. I have no problem talking to myself. And I like it because people can actually see me and understand me and like see how I communicate, not just see what I'm reading or, I don't know. I don't know how else to describe it. I like showing up on video and just be like, this is me, everybody. What to do. However, if you are one of our students at elevatewithrachelk.com and you are in a course that has the live Q&As, I never have my camera on because I look like a hobo 90% of the time. Or I'm just like walking around the house while I'm listening and answering people's questions. That's different. Like, and I don't know why I'm like, oh, I meet with you regularly. You're never going to see me. All right. Anyway. So when you're creating any kind of lead magnet, you kind of want to work backwards with what you want to offer. And this will be repeated in several episodes because the next few episodes are going to be like deeper into creating different types of lead magnets. And with video, there's several different options. You can feature, or written, honestly, but with lead magnets, you can feature your services and some tips with regards to a specific type of travel or a specific destination. But you want to make sure it's something that you want to offer. So don't create a lead magnet because someone else told you, oh, this type of travel is trending. No, don't do that. So if you're going to do a video, I have notes. You can do it for a couple of different resorts or cruise lines or tours that you offer or would like to offer. Don't just stick with one. You want variety because, let's say, and I'm thinking along the lines of like destination weddings or group travel. If you want to just get groups and your ICA may or may not have children traveling, they may have a little bit of a budget flexibility. They're probably almost always going to align with what you really, really, really want to offer. But you do want to have those different things to educate them, right? So when you are doing any kind of video presentation and it's tied specifically to types of travel, you want to have two or three. Three odd numbers are, they're used in design. They're used in like odd numbers are better than even. So pick three, honestly. Resorts, cruise lines, or tours, but you want them to have variety. And by variety, I mean different price points. You could do family as one option. You could do an adult only as another option, and you could do like a luxury, either family or adult only as your third option with regards to any of these types of travel that I just mentioned. So you could easily pick out 3 resorts in one destination that's going to fit in these little columns or whatever containers that you also would be comfortable selling and are knowledgeable about, right? And obviously, you're going to need knowledge about it because you can't just pop on the camera and be like, well, I'm just going to talk about stuff. You got to have some knowledge about it. So you can do that with resorts or cruise lines or specific types of tours. And like with tours, like different DMCs and wholesalers that do the tour, big coach bus thingy tours, they often have like when you're requesting a group, what kind of hotels do you want to stay in? What star level? So that's how you do the price variety. If it's a webinar for one particular service that you offer, for example, destination weddings, you could talk about 3 different destinations and mention this is what it's like to get married in Portugal. This is what it's like to get married at an all inclusive in Mexico or the Caribbean. This is what it's like to get married on a cruise ship. If you have the knowledge of all 3 and you offer all 3 of those, do something like that for your webinar for your services. I got to flip my notebook around, people. If it's a webinar promoting for a specific, like you held group space on a cruise trip or you held group space at a resort and you're like, I'm going to promote this as a social group and see if I can get my clients to book these rates. You're going to want to dive into more information with regards to like different cabin levels and why you want to go full detail of the itinerary. And if it's not cabins, so you want to talk about the room categories as well. So hopefully with that type of thing, if it's a cruise, you could do, um, like the dive, like a lot of information about the itinerary. And hopefully it's one that you have done or have enough knowledge about to really, really paint the picture of what this trip's going to be like. If it's like room block space you've held for a social group, then you could mention, hey, we're going to have a white party on this day, something like that. And I'm not saying like groups that you are traveling with. I'm just saying like groups you want to promote. Like, we're going to have this event. You're welcome to attend. It's complimentary. This type of webinar, if you want to do it as a lead magnet, you want to sign up form for it. Okay. It is not recommended to use this type of video as a rinse and repeat type of thing. And I'll talk about that in a second, because you're trying to fill specific group space. It's very, very specific. So you can't just like put it out there and be like, oh, if you give me your email, I'll send you this informative video. Now, if it's like highly informational and it's an itinerary for a cruise ship specifically, I think if it's an itinerary that you really love to sell and you do enough volume of business with them, or you feel confident that this itinerary won't change much, you could possibly make it into a lead magnet, but you can't. You'd have to edit out the parts where it's like, here's our special pricing. Here's how to sign up. You'd have to kind of redo it. Now, if you're doing any kind of like presentation webinars as a lead magnet, you can host the same presentation or just record it once and then use the replay as a lead magnet. And then they would get the replay via email, like the link. You can embed it in an email with most CRMs. So that is something that you could consider. You can also re-record the presentation just by yourself and offer that as a lead magnet without the audience, because as we've discussed in previous episodes, you want a buffer for like a live Q&A chat, questions answered at the end. So you may not want to include that. And you, like I said just a few seconds ago, if it's for a specific group space that you're trying to fill, you're definitely going to want to redo it so you don't have the room pricing or cabin pricing information and like payment deadlines. Because, you do it and it's been a year and that group's already traveled. Like, what are you doing? So you can re record it as though you are presenting it in a webinar. You can also, if you're like nervous about this and you're like, what if I don't think I have good enough information? You can also host this several different times over the course of like 2 to 3 months and always ask your audience for feedback so you can tweak it each time and like review the Q&A from the first one and then add the most commonly asked question from the chat into your next presentation and so on and so forth. Then once you feel like this is a pretty good presentation, that's when that one can be a lead magnet and embedded into emails. Why am I talking about all this? I think video content is the way to go, honestly. Video or very, very long form content. And a lot of this information that I am talking about in here, not a lot of it, but some of it, there's another book called The Expert Secrets by Russell Bronson. I think that's the book, but he talks about how he built his businesses just doing webinars like this as his marketing strategy. And then he made them kind of like a rinse and repeat process. So it is totally doable. You just have to think, how can I tweak this for travel? Now, I know you're thinking there's so many travel advisors on YouTube with free in-depth videos. This is not going to get anything from me. But it's not about the actual destination. It's about working with you in the end. Okay. So anyone can book a cruise or a resort through so many different avenues. But do they want to do they want to give you business? And it's hard to really wrap your brain around that sometimes because you don't want to just promote yourself. You want to make sure that you're connecting with your ICA and that you do provide the services that they want. And also, you do have to market specific destinations and sometimes cruise lines or resort brands as well. So it's like maybe at first they just want more information on a cruise. But as they watch your video, they might be like, well, this guy or girl is extremely knowledgeable and they're entertaining enough and they seem really friendly. And I think I want to ask them for help for this, whatever type of travel it is. You could offer in-depth like tours or maybe interviews with like high-level contacts for a specific brand that you want to offer. When you are on site, like ask them if you can record an interview for your leads and your clients. That could be a lead magnet because it's like insider information. That's not something that you would want to have publicly posted on YouTube because some other advisor is going to snag that info and then they're going to be like, oh yeah, I totally do all this. And then disappoint somebody, probably. I don't know. And another thing, if you prefer to write, like almost every piece of written content can be redone for video. So if you want to create a video lead magnet, and let's say you have this this awesome blog post that's so informational, but maybe you're not getting a whole lot of hits on that blog post, you could record a video of you going over it. And again, hire someone from Upwork or Fiverr if you don't want to do the editing yourself and insert images of whatever it is you're talking about in the video to kind of cut back and forth. And then you can offer that as a lead magnet. If you post anything for free, like a clip of that video, then you also want to have a call to action to like you're essentially promoting your lead magnet. It's a video format. So you want to have a call to action for the more in-depth video. So you can do this with webinars and you can do this with your in-depth videos. If it's a webinar, you can take a clip of you doing like the juiciest tip from a webinar that you hosted, and you can clip that and put it on short form content. And then you can like put in the captions below if you want the full webinar. We're having another one here, and just have a form for them to sign up. Okay. And we'll talk about the funnels in future episodes, but that's an idea. And if you're doing an in-depth video, same thing. Take the best tip that the one that you think your ICA is going to absolutely love, and clip it and post it as short form video, and then be like, hey, you want the whole thing? Just fill out this form real quick. And then you can set it up to where it instantly takes them to a landing page, like a pop up to a landing page, and it'll play the embedded video for them. Okay, that's a lot about video lead magnets. It's only 16 minutes, but I feel like that was very helpful information. If you would like any other help, this is we have all the workbooks and everything to help you get this set up in the Success Circle. That's $35 a month for 12 months, and it's at elevatewithrachelk.com. If you just like this episode, or maybe you have a friend who's like, I really want to do a video lead magnet, but I don't know where to start, send them this episode. Share it. I don't care. And I hope you have a great day.